My video for December the 22nd, 2018 is video number 2944. The title is Living on a Planet of Lies and Liars. As I continue exploring alternative stories about life on a planet of deception on almost everything in preparation for a talk I am giving this Sunday, I was awakened by a nightmare. Not being able to fall back to sleep, I finally got up and went to the computer. Among other things, I watched a video about the lost years of Jesus. The missing years between the ages of 12 and 30 are fascinating, as was the lecture by Edward T. Martin about Jesus in India. Incredibly fascinating. Did Jesus really die on the cross? Or was there more to the story? I am convinced that nearly all the things we are told in mainstream religion has been manipulated for political reasons. Those who control the media have an agenda, and it's unlikely that it is beneficial to humanity as a whole. So much of what we have been told is riddled with lies and partial truths for controlling us. Did Jesus actually die on the cross? But lived to be, or did Jesus not actually die on the cross, but live to be over 100 years old? Did he marry twice? Did he return to India after the crucifixion? Lots of questions. Are you willing to explore, or are you satisfied with the mainstream media narratives? I'm not. Sorry about that. I mean, I didn't get much sleep, to be really honest with you, and it's 20 after 4 right now as I'm recording this. My videos don't even usually go up this early, but the one for today, this is the one for tomorrow that I'm recording now, the one for today went up over half an hour ago, or somewhere about that. Anyway, yeah, the nightmare was really strange. I was in church, and I remembered that I needed to leave early. And I went to the parking lot to get my car, and the parking lot had all the cars jammed together, and I was way in the back. I was actually hovering over the parking lot, which I hover I've hovered over course of my life in many dreams. I'm able to fly or float or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I spotted my car. The hood was popped open. The driver's side was all smashed in, and the driver's door was all pushed in. But all the cars were just like, it was like compacted together. Again, it's a dream, but I couldn't get back to sleep. I tossed and I turned. I mean, it's not even 1 a.m. at this point in time, and I'm wide awake, unable to fall asleep. So I go to the computer, as I finally had to do. I mean, I just couldn't lay in bed anymore. And I don't know, I watched a couple of things. I read some emails and looked at a couple of things, and then I came across this video about the lost years of Jesus. And of course, I'm giving a talk Sunday on the subject of Jesus, Christmas, India, and Turkey, and the connection to all those. So I found this video by a man that I really don't know anything about, Edward T. Martin, and he wrote a book called Jesus, or the video was called Jesus in India. I guess he's written several books, and he recommended the Talmud of, oh God, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, it's the book that he says the book of Matthew was actually taken, the Talmud of something, Emmanuel, I guess, the Talmud of Emmanuel, maybe that was the name of it. And he says the book of Matthew actually came out of that. But of course, when they created the Bible, The Bible was not created, the one we think of as the Bible was not created for the liberation of humanity, but it's always been the controllers that want to control the narrative and to control the story for their own purposes. And the purposes has always been to control humanity. They control the story, and through the story control humanity. We are not born in sin. That is insane. That is an absolute insanity. And now I'm interjecting something that wasn't in the book or anything else, but it is insane to think that we were born bad. No, we're born, every baby is innocent. Karma is ridiculous. It's another infiltration of lies into the religious system to keep us controlled. That's all it is, folks. And we need to wake up to that. Anyway, Mr. Martin, in his exploration, and he quotes, it's an 1.5-hour video, and he puts out a lot of information, and he's written more than one book on it, but recommends many other books that collaborate parts of the story that he's telling about Jesus going to India at age 12 in a caravan and studying with Buddhists and Hindus and people in the Eastern religions, and then coming back at age 29 and starting his ministry at age 30, and marries Mary Magdalene, and then there's the crucifixion and Joseph of Arimathea. And he didn't actually die on the cross. He was almost dead, but they took him down, and for 3 days they had metaphysicians working on him and revived him, and he walked out and showed himself to the disciples. He had the prints, the nail prints in his hands, and they could see that where he had been wounded, but all the wounds were healed. And then he goes on after that, and he actually traveled to India, and his wife died, and Mary Magdalene was his wife, and he went on to India, and he married again. I don't remember the name, but he lived to be over 100 years old, and there are records in India and in that area that tell the story of Isu. It's Jesus. It's the same person, and he was looked up to by the mystics in that culture, the same as he would be looked up to by mystics in our culture. And it's the mystics that are willing to explore. It's the people that think outside the box. Mysticism is not a religion. It's an exploration of life. And I'm encouraging people to explore the stories we've been told. Some of them will resonate with you, some of them won't. And some of them won't resonate with you because you're still hanging on to old beliefs, and beliefs have a lie in the middle of them. All of my beliefs, your beliefs, it doesn't matter. Belief has a lie in the middle of it. Beliefs are not reality. They are suppositions. And most of them, I think we're going to find, have been superimposed upon us to control us. Do you want to be free? I want to be free. I don't want to buy mainstream narratives. I want to be willing to explore alternative narratives and find out what resonates to me as truth and what will help me get through the challenges that I face with all the doubts and concerns that I have living on a planet of lies. I'd like to be free. I'd like all of us to be free. I'd like Trump to be draining the swamp. I'd like a lot of things, but I don't know how much of it is actually going to happen in my lifetime. But Jesus living to be over 100 years old certainly is something for me to think about, because I hope I do too. Thank you for listening, and namaste.